And welcome back to Real Chill Conversations. How's everyone doing today?
Hey, everybody. Happy
Another good
Sunday.
Sunday.
Yes,
And today I wanted to talk about what if your parents don't approve of your relationship. And I think that's one of the topics that some of us can relate to.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So, what do you
Definitely.
think about this topic today?
I think it's interesting. I think that it's an important conversation to have. I have been in this situation and been in this scenario. But I kind of wanted to break it down into two sections because one of the sections talks about, to me, when you're dating someone that your parents don't approve of, but you're underage. Like, let's say your parents tell you that you can't start dating or you can't have a boyfriend until you're 15, 16 years old. Because some of these kids be having boyfriends and girlfriends and they be, 11, 12, 13 years old. But then there's also the aspect of when you're a full on, full functioning grown adult out of the house, making your own money, paying your own bills, and you have a scenario in which your parents don't like your significant other. So being younger and having to deal with that, I really did not have much of a choice because my parents were very strict in their beliefs and what they thought was right for me and their ability to make decisions for me. So no matter how much I pleaded my case and told them how much I really wanted to be in a relationship and continue to see this person, it just was not allowed. So we had to take our situation down to being just friends. As an adult, dating someone that my parents did not approve of was a different bit of a challenge. But as an adult, I felt like I could stand up for myself, but in a respectful manner to my parents and just let them know, hey, this is somebody that I care about. You should really take the time to get to know him. I would invite him to family functions and different outings and get-togethers just so he would have more of an opportunity to get to know my parents and so my parents could get to know him and see the person that I saw when I decided to enter into a relationship with him. So I've got two sides of the story in my situation. Uh, Both of them were a challenge. The second one, my parents wound up coming around. And in fact, to this day, they still, well, my not my mom, but my dad still has a relationship with this person that he initially did not want me to be in a relationship with. They still have a friendship, still maintain contact, still communicate with each other. Him and I haven't talked in 20 years. So that's that for me. What about you?
I'm sorry, honey. Yes. So, how you mentioned that when you first started this relationship, it was not a relationship between your father and your now partner, but now they have a good relationship. Is
Hmm.
that what I'm hearing?
Right, but it's somebody that I'm no longer with. This is an ex.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This is an ex.
So
And
your parents eventually came around.
they
I
eventually
guess
they
yes.
eventually came around. They eventually came around. My mom discontinued the relationship after we ended things, but my dad maintained the relationship. And as I said, they're still in contact to this day. But I haven't talked to him in 20 years.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, listen, you have to sleep, live. You have to spend your days with this person that you want to be with.
Yep.
So, and if that person makes you happy, then I'll say go for it. Usually, I wouldn't, I definitely don't recommend if this person is causing you any harm, um, physically. But as far as your personal life, I do feel like there was a lot of instances where my mother did not approve of my relationships, and it was like a battle to try to get that to happen. But at the end of the day, you just don't want to leave the person that you love and care about just because your family members don't approve of them. And you also have to think about also what you tell other people. I think this is so important, and a lot of people miss this. Like, your business is your business. And I feel like a lot of people go outside and we try to confide in someone, whether it's a relative or a friend. And what ends up happening is that now this person that you're telling your business to feel a certain way towards the person that you're with or you're sharing your life with, and
Yes.
then they make up in their own mind their opinion about
Right.
this person.
Right. I'm
And so
glad you
what
said
ends
that.
up so this is a very good example because this will make that person have a certain um opinion about your person, and then it caused them either not to like them or not want to be around them and stuff like that. That's why I always try to keep my personal business to myself,
Yep.
because I don't want somebody to look at you in a wrong way, because I'm still going to be with you.
Right.
So I don't want that to happen. I didn't want that to happen. So I always try to keep things to myself if I was going through something with somebody, because yeah, that's your family. So you could think about it this way. If you're telling your family member, your mom especially, if it's your mom or dad, somebody really close to you, hey, I have he did this to me and he did that to me, and now they're getting mad, of course, because
Right.
they love
Right.
you, want to see you happy, and you're telling them all these things that you're going through. So people make opinions about people.
Right. I'm,
Um,
I'm glad that you said that because I had this conversation with my mom not too long ago. And it brings me back to something that our pastor said. Um, before we got married, my mom was saying that, I have no problem, talking to you or talking you through any situations or difficulties that you might be experiencing in your relationship. But if you're coming to me and you're telling me that this person has upset you in a certain way, or if they've been abusive, or if they've hurt you in some type of way, and then you resolve the thing with that person and you and that person are back good, your family member is still left not good because they haven't resolved the hurt that they feel on your behalf for you sharing with them. And our pastor on our wedding day gave us some good advice and was said, keep your family out your business. When you guys have problems, when you guys have situations and you have scenarios, find an unbiased third party to have those conversations with, which to me was great advice. And also, lean towards how really people really need to think about considering therapy when they're having issues and challenges in communication and whatever with their relationship, because the therapist is not going to judge you. The therapist is not going to hold a grudge against your significant other, but your mom or your dad or your sister or your cousin or your auntie or your friend or whoever, they're going to, because you might have made up with that person,
they
but they have,
are.
right, but they
And
haven't.
you have to learn how to amend that. If you are the type of person that will go out there, and speak certain things about your relationship to your parents, or someone who loves you, your friends, then you want to try to amend that, because at the end of the day, you were the person who told all these things. So you should be able to be, grown enough to be like, hey, when I when I told you this, I didn't mean
Right.
for you to have this perspective about
Right.
a person.
I was
I
just
just
upset.
I
Yeah.
was just venting myself and I was
Yeah.
just upset. So always try to be grown about it and come
Yeah.
like correct, you know? Um,
Absolutely.
do you think men should still ask for hand in marriage in today's world?
Um, I really think that that whole scenario is really part of this whole patriarchy that we are trying to escape from and get away from. I mean, I think traditions are nice and I think that, they're in place for a certain reason. But, to me, it just seems like such a macho kind of thing to do. And I feel like if you want to be with someone, then it should be the two of you making that decision. It shouldn't be me going to your dad and, asking for his permission. And I get a lot of people say that they do it, again, out of tradition and, to be respectful and whatnot. But if it's the two of you that have built this relationship and have made the decision that you want to be together and you've discussed marriage and you've talked about it, I don't necessarily think that you need to ask for permission at this point in time, at this day
So
and age.
so you don't think it's necessary?
I don't. I
Let me
don't.
tell y'all, my mom had very high expectations for me. I don't even think that person existed, honestly
Same.
speaking. I
Same.
was like, oh, that sounds like Prince Charming. Like, where is
Yes.
he? No, but
Um,
seriously,
the, g-
um,
the guy that I was interested in at the time, I mean, he didn't have his education wasn't high enough. His job wasn't significant enough. His money wasn't significant enough. But those were none of the reasons why I had chosen to be with him. I had education. I had a job. I didn't mind, pitching in. We were in it together. We were a team. I wasn't looking to be, a cater to, housewife sitting at home, popping out babies. I thought I was going to be out in the world blazing trails and having careers. Becoming a mom was not even something that I even thought about, as a young girl and as a teenager. It just wasn't anything that entered into my mind. In fact, I wasn't even sure that I wanted to get married because my parents were married for almost 20 years or 20 years, and they were absolutely miserable. And I was like, if this is what marriage is, y'all can have it. I don't want this. I don't want any parts of this. So, it's different how the mindset can change. But again, like you were saying, my parents' expectations were very high and they just felt like the people that I was choosing did not meet that level of expectation. But I had to just explain to them, like, I'm not with them, for their income, for their paycheck. I'm not with them for the fact that they have a master's degree in business finance or what have you, what have you. I'm with them because I love them and I care about them and we're happy together. He makes me happy, and that should be the most important thing is my happiness and the fact that he treats me right. So,
yes, and I think a lot of times parents want Prince Rich. Um, a lot of people, marry. Um, that's like not truly being with the person that you really love and really care about.
yeah,
So you're really just going into a marriage or a relationship just because of what a person can do for you.
right.
Um,
Which is
and what you,
transactional. To me, those are
right.
transactional relationships.
And also just based on resources, like I said, what can they do for me? How much money they have? Because that's what their parents instilled in them
Yep.
since they've been little. And
Yep.
I know parents like that.
Yep.
So we're not going to sit here and act like they don't exist.
Right.
If you're,
Right.
I,
Absolutely. I can share this that, when my parents divorced and I had a conversation with my mom, about it and just talking to her, mother to daughter, she told me that she had wanted to leave my dad a long time ago. And when she went to her mother, to have that conversation with her, her mother was like, "Oh no, honey, he makes good money. He's got a good job. You got a nice house. You got 3 cars. Stay right where you're at." And so, to
Exactly.
me, that's just wild. Wasn't making her happy. My mom was miserable. And even as a little girl, even as a child, I could see that. So that was
And
definitely not
it is
something that I wanted for myself.
kind of sad for the people that actually have relationships that they have established and have made a family out of, and then you bring your person around, and then your family is like, I don't like them.
Right.
Like, your mom be like, I don't like them, or your
Right.
dad be, I don't like them. Like,
Right.
how do you supposed to move forward like that? Like, you want your parents to want, to like your person. Like,
Right.
this is the person that I want to be with, because of course you're gonna want to go to family functions. You want to be able to bring your person with you, you know.
Yeah.
Um, if you have dinner
Mhm.
together, why would
Yeah.
you just want to go by yourself? You know?
Holidays, trips,
So I wonder how
vacations.
that works though. If we putting our mind frame in the state of, okay, I don't care what no one says, I'm gonna be with this person, this is the person I love. And I'm not gonna let anyone ruin that, because this is the person that I want to be with. So how do you overcome that of your family not liking that person? How? I just want to know.
I think you have to just stand on business. I think you have to just stand on business. And I think you just have to keep affirming to your
Mhm.
family and your friends and your loved ones that, hey, this is my person. This is the person the smile that you see on my face is a result of this person. The happiness that you see and the success you see me accomplishing and achieving is because of the support of this person. And I think eventually, once you do that, enough times, families, do start to come around and they soften and things like that. And it might be like, yeah, I didn't like you at first. And, but now, you're an okay person. I did experience that, with the
Exactly.
last situation that I was in. My parents were like, okay, you've brought him home for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. We've taken, trips together. We've gone down to Atlantic City. We've done these different things. And he's shown how much he really cares about you. We watch how you guys interact, how you communicate with each other, and we can see that he makes you happy. So you have our support. So I just think you need to stand on business. And if this is someone that makes you happy and you want in your life, you have to protect that person as well, because that person doesn't know your family. That
Ex-
person can't speak to your family the way that you might have the ability to speak to your family, because they don't want to be disrespectful. And I'm not saying that you talking to your family is going to be in a disrespectful manner, but you have to kind of bridge that gap. But I think you have to continue to maintain consistency with showing your family members and your friends and your loved ones that, hey, this is the person for me. They make me happy. Just be happy for me. And if you can't be happy for me, then just don't say anything at all.
Right. And just because they're family does not mean they're right all the
Exactly.
time.
I wish I had a bell to
And they
ring.
and
Ding,
they
ding,
are still,
ding.
y'all have to, and also understand this. They are still family. They are
Yes.
still humans. They can still get jealous. They can, it's a lot of things that can
Right.
be happening there.
Right.
So definitely, um, you know, I just, yeah, they could be wrong.
They can
I'm not gonna
absolutely,
say, you
they can
know,
absolutely be wrong.
people love when they're right, and they'll be
Yeah.
like, I told you.
Right.
I told
Right.
you. I
Right.
told you he was gonna do that. I
Uh-huh.
told you she was gonna do that.
Right.
They love that. They
Mhm.
love that. And some people will give you advice that they didn't even live up to it themselves.
Themselves.
And
Right.
but I don't take it as bad criticism. I take it as good criticism, because at the end of the day, um, we all make mistakes, and through our lives we learn so much that if I can prevent, if I could tell you something and kind of prevent something in your life, I would rather tell you. I
Yeah.
mean, I accept it. I accept
Right.
all advice. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Doesn't mean that I'm gonna go forward with it.
Right.
But I listen.
But you'll hear it out. You'll listen to it and
Exactly.
you'll take
Ex-
it, you'll take the matter under consideration, but
right.
ultimately at the end of the day, the decision is yours. And yes, I think it
Yeah.
is. I think a lot of times people are coming from a good place. I think a lot of
Hmm.
times when people have been in situations themselves before and they
Hmm.
know what kind of pain and difficulty it is to have experienced that, if they can avoid someone that they care about going through that same situation, they're going to try to keep you from having to go through
Right.
that negative experience. So sometimes it's really just them projecting what they've experienced onto your scenario and hoping that you don't go through it. And I think the intentions are good. It's just sometimes the delivery is off.
Yes, and search for your truth. Like
Yeah.
search for the truth because everybody's relationship doesn't have the same truth. Like,
No.
your just search for it. Make sure it's right. Make sure that that's your situation. Um like Brenna said, like some people mean the best for someone.
Hmm.
They don't want to see them hurt. Um like for example with my kids, if they have someone they fall in love with, I can voice my opinion to them, but I cannot make them do anything. I can't choose for them.
Right.
I wouldn't be able to do that. Like, you have to live with this person.
Right. Not me.
It's
Yeah.
exactly. So if you think that's something that you can handle, if you feel like that's something that you're able to do, then go for it. You know,
I agree.
um, so that's just my opinion about it, and
Yep.
that's how I feel. And I feel like everyone has the right to make their own decision. Whatever decision you make, I feel like you're going to make the best decision for you and your partner. It is sad that you can't bring your significant other around your parents, for the ones out there that's having this issue.
Right.
I completely understand. I feel you.
Yes.
I feel like it's unfortunate because
It is.
you don't ever know what type of blessings your person can have
Right.
on your family,
Yeah.
and blocking them out. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of
Yeah.
like unfair,
Yeah.
especially if you're back with that person or you're with that person.
Right.
So it makes sense.
Absolutely. I completely 100% agree. I think that, ultimately the decision is yours. It's fine to take advice and to take matters under advisement, but I don't think anybody has the right to tell you who you should or you should not be with. And just because, certain characteristics might make one person happy doesn't necessarily mean that's what's going to make you happy. So, you have to go with your heart and follow your heart and do what makes you feel good.
Absolutely, and I like that, Brenna. We'll leave with that today.
All right. Sounds good. Well, enjoy everybody the rest of your Sunday. I'm kicking back and relaxing, getting ready for a whole new work week. I had an enjoyable time at the Cowboy Carter show,
It's
which was
still going on. It's Sunday, and
I
Beyonce's
know.
still here.
And she'll be here tomorrow. So she made a whole weekend out of it.
We're downtown right now, so I can see all the girls with their cowgirl hats on and boots on. They
Yeah.
ready, baby.
They are ready. Absolutely. But she put on a good show. It was a good time. But yes, great topic. You guys lead with your hearts, follow your hearts, take things under advisement, but ultimately the decision is yours and it's up to you. So on
All
that
right,
note,
y'all.
we'll
Have a
talk
good
to y'all
day.
next week. Bye bye.
All right, peace out.